Good afternoon. I'm making this video for the first time for YouTube from a pleasant location in the suburbs of Bangkok. I just saw a video on YouTube with Deepak Chopra, I guess debating is the word, or arguing with Sam Harris and Michael Shermer or somebody like that. The details aren't really important. I guess the venue was at Caltech, which is important. I love Deepak Chopra. I love his intent and similar notables in that area who are seeking world peace and self-fulfillment for the individual, and actually trying to teach us ways to achieve this. Eckhart Tolle is another one that comes to mind, although I'm not sure they would agree to be in the same room. I don't know, there's differences in philosophies and methods also among the I guess, for lack of a better term, New Age notables. Okay, so actually this video is not meant to be a long affair, but since I've seen so many other opinions posted on YouTube, I thought, why not post my opinion with regard to the whole apparent conflict, or for like dichotomy between, I guess, people who are of a scientific, empirical bent, mind bent, and those who are more spiritual, and I guess the word is New Ageist. I guess the term that Deepak Chopra took offense to is woo-woo, so I guess I would be more on the woo-woo side, but likewise, woo-woo implies something spooky, something ephemeral perhaps, or ethereal, and likewise we should find a label for the other unpleasant people, opinionated people, and I would suggest it be crunch, because if you can't break it, bite it, beat it, or bend it, you can't hear that crunch, it's not real. That's basically the argument of, real simplistic argument for the other side. But so I'm going to call you guys the crunchies, followers of crunch, if that's not already been coined, in contrast to when you call our line of thinking or pursuit of spirituality woo-woo. My main point in making this video is I have no problem with crunch. I tend to lean to woo-woo, but the main point is, what is the need to bring Deepak Chopra and Sam Harris into an arena, so to speak, and have them duke it out? And I would also question, although I'm a great fan, I would also question Deepak's judgment in appearing in an arena such as Caltech, which is a bastion of crunch. I would liken it to, why would a vegetarian end up in the U.S. Steak Lovers Association and make the case for vegetarianism, when in fact they're both valid. I mean, there's neither right nor wrong, but if the point was to exchange ideas, that's fine. But again, it seemed to be the appeal of the arena concept was to have crunch and woo battle it out, and you got the jeers, and you got Deepak a little flustered, which, calling the crunchies jihadists, which I have to agree with. Was Michael Shermer or Bill Shermer or whoever that was? That was quite un-Deepak of him, but Deepak is human. I mean, like he said, he brings out the worst in him. So I would just say another thing that also, another point that seems to befuddle me with regards to the woo, the New Age ideal is, what is the need to reconcile it with scientific anything? What is the need? I mean, science is over here, and we're not talking about here, we're talking about here. And if science, in terms of quantum physics or whatever that is trying to talk about up here, let them talk about up here. But we don't have to understand it. We don't have to understand electricity. We don't have to understand internal combustion. We don't have to understand biology. And many people don't, even after studying it. So that's the point is, let's keep our discipline here and understand that it belongs here and it really isn't related to here. And again, an analogy would be art, aesthetics. Although art would probably not be here, it's probably less woo, because it definitely has a crunch factor. But trying to explain the tenets of art and aesthetics, not even talking about cultural differences. How are you going to do that by quoting Einstein? Or why would you even want to quote Einstein or bring Einstein into a discussion having to deal with the merits of a Mark Rothko painting, or the validity of some artist's works as art? It's apples and oranges. I guess that's basically my premise. It's basically apples and oranges, and trying to argue why apples should have some elements of citrus, and trying to meld the two, and trying to and in order that the people who the orange people understand the apple people. I would just say, just forget it. And I would actually have to say the people who tend to be attracted to the New Age spiritual might even be a different kind of physiological makeup from someone who's a crunchy, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm just saying that there are differences, and if you just recognize the differences as differences, I think this is more along the lines of what something Eckhart Tolle would say is, just accept that that's the way it is, and leave it that way. And if we did that, then I would be in awe of Deepak for just saying, I don't need to learn quantum physics to know what I know. And he doesn't need to be harangued by superior intellects in the realm of crunch, when he has no need to be in that sphere at all. Similarly, why would Picasso want to subjugate himself to Leonard Molinoff or whoever that physicist was who was going to write a book with Stephen Hawking, which I did Google, and yes, he is Mladenow, I think that's his name. Great, so you want to teach Deepak Chopra quantum physics. But my point is, Deepak, you don't need to learn quantum physics. What you impart to the people who are attracted to your teachings is not in that realm and doesn't really, like I said, I don't understand how electricity works, so it doesn't really impress me that whoever fixes my refrigerator can explain. I don't want to know. I just want my refrigerator to be fixed. So, in other words, when I look at your videos, I read your books, I listen to you, your words of wisdom, and your insights. There's already a credibility and a faith there that allows me to as my university literature professor used to say, you have my donné. What you're doing, I already give to you. I already allow you to do, and I accept what you're doing. I don't, for me personally, maybe other people are different, but I don't need to know about the observer effect to validate the fact that when I meditate with the mantra Soham, when the phone rings the very next second and I have a testy customer or some unhappy situation, it's very clear I handle it so much more calmly and happily. And in fact, I can tell you, Soham, I accredit the Soham video from the Chopra Center for directly diffusing a situation where I had a problem with a customer. Things were a little heated about what to do about the situation. I stepped in. I stepped in after the meditation and spoke and had a very good feeling with this customer, although he was very indignant and very upset with the way we had handled things. And we had a very short conversation, but it was there was a good vibration, and in less than 15 minutes his testiness and his lack of cooperation turned into a complete opposite. And I was on the telephone with this customer. My partner was at his location dealing with the problem about where to load the product and blah blah blah. So my partner came back and said, you must have had a really good conversation because your customer, this customer really just changed, and instead of not being cooperative and being and locking the door and sitting in his office, he basically had his whole staff come out and help out with the situation. So that's Soham. That's what you do. That's what your videos, your teachings, your words can do. So what could have been a very tense, stressful situation, calm down. And yes, I believe in the energy. So if we had had an argument, that would have created a negative wave effect. but it didn't. It created a positive effect. And that's Deepak, that's what you do. And I don't really know why, pardon me for saying this, but I don't really know why you need to talk to Sam Harris or the other people. I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw little snips of it. But thank you. And just from just one of your followers from Bangkok, and actually, I've had your books on my shelf for decades, but I've never, honestly, I have never read them, because until recently, I have never had anyone pass away. I just had a really smooth and happy life, and only in the less than 5 months, my life has taken this bend due to the passing of someone very close and dear to me, and click here and click here and click, and also I give credit to YouTube and Google. I mean, the journey, the literal journey that I've taken through YouTube to get to you and to find these books, and also to find the teachings of Eckhart Tolle, and also another guru that I've seen you appear with. Sorry, I'm not fluent in names and concepts. I'm just recording my opinion and putting it out on YouTube. So yeah, you've done so much work. We don't need to see you in an arena, Coliseum style, unless you're getting paid really well for it, and then I hope you do. And that's another thing. I hope you are highly compensated. I don't see what this resentment from these comments on videos are. Making money, you're making people happy. Not unlike what entertainers do, celebrities do, but in a more lasting, more meaningful, and obviously a deeper way, because celebrities also ascribe to your teachings and your philosophy and your vision, and so do I. And like I said, there's no need for and I like the term woo woo, because yeah, that we're out here, we're like a cloud. Our thinking is I don't know, infinity. It's like you asked about infinity. Infinity is woo woo. Infinity is not crunch. So like I said, if we accept the term woo as ours, then what harm can it do? But people who want to contrast woo-woo with the empiricist, scientific, rational, materialist, blah 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 thought need a term, and that should be crunch, because they're not like this, they're like this, and they need something hard and crunchy. Like I said, they can bend it, break it, beat it, boil it, bash it, anything to make them happy. And so let Sam Harris and the crunchies and the crunch crowd do their thing at Caltech. And Deepak, please come to Bangkok, have a talk. It's fantastic to have be able to be acquainted with your works, even at this point in my life, age 52. So that's really all I want to say in this rambling 20-minute video. But we don't need to explain. Oh, a final point. Like it was very clear. Crunch crunch is one sphere, woo is another sphere. You made the point. Why do we feel the deep yearning to know where we come from? I believe I'm paraphrasing, and if I may expand on it, why are we here? Where does the energy of our loved ones go, which is what started my journey. And in the right venue, we would all go, yes, yes. But in the arena of Caltech, with the crunch crunch crescendo of whatever, you got a very glib and cheap shot response, like from Sam Harris, like, I don't feel that way. Ha ha ha, and like crunch crunch, yeah, obviously, but they're not wrong. But it was just, it's just like speaking to the wrong type of audience, or not the wrong, speaking to an audience that is of a dissimilar mindset. So if your objective was to convert people, or at least you feel it's necessary to forge beyond what you've already achieved and venture into the throngs of unconvinced non-believers, go for it. But I don't know, more power to you. Thank you. Namaste.